Welcome, friends. LostScarf here. It's time for the review of Doctor Strange. We'll have like a 1 or 2 minute spoiler talk at the end. The reason why this one's not going to be as long as the other ones is because I don't know Doctor Strange as well as I know all the other subjects. So going into this, only knowing Doctor Strange from like the summer events, and that's it. What I know about Doctor Strange is he's amazingly OP. He's got all this magical power. He's been around for a long time. He's really smart. He's just really strong. I've seen him from World War Hulk. I've seen him in, I think he had something Civil War. Was it a House of M? I don't think he was in that very much, but I've just seen him in crossover stuff. That's all I've seen Doctor Strange in. And he's just this really powerful guy that people are like, whoa, he's kind of really strong because he just understands realities and all this stuff in the universes and just makes him a really strong authority. Also, he just has access to a lot of magical stuff. Now, saying that, so now you know where I'm coming from when I do this review of the movie. Right at the start, I will tell you it's a great movie, very entertaining. If you like Marvel movies, you'll really like this movie. If you like movies in general, you'll enjoy this movie. Really good action. The best special effects you have seen so far in life, I feel, is in this movie. Just, it takes Inception to the next level as far as special effects go. It is insane. It is really, really good. The musical score is great, as always, with any Marvel movie. Very good epicness to it. The action is pretty good. The acting is top-notch. Like, Marvel just, they hired the right actors for their things. Cumberbatch is amazing what he does in this movie. I can't remember the name of the actress right now who plays Christine Palmer. Pretty great. Something Mickelson is the character for Caecilius, which is the villain. He's pretty cool. He's great. The guy who plays Mordo is pretty cool. That's the Cara Mordo, who is the black guy you see in the commercials. Oh, you did not. I don't think you saw Wong in the commercials. If you know Wong from the comics, he's very different in this, and I really like Wong. And then there is the Ancient One, which is a Celtic in this instead of a Tibetan. And well, it's what's her name? It's the lady who's really, really good at acting. Looking her up really quick, that is the Ancient One is Tilda Swinton. The lady acts the hell out of everything she does, and she does it here. Like, they just got a really good pedigree of actors in it. There's a couple actors in here I won't mention that are pretty great as well. The Stan Lee cameo is pretty funny. Not the best one. I think my favorite Stan Lee cameo has got to be... which one would it be? It's hard to pick. There's too many good ones. Actually, no. Avengers 2 is my favorite one. When he gets drunk, that one cracks me. That's my favorite one. But, the acting's great. Special effects are great. The story, it's another origin story. So if you know the course for this. Here's the thing. I feel like the only argument that's okay for like people saying like, well, every Marvel's the same in that they're all origin stories. When it comes to that vein, I agree, but that's every comic book hero movie because they all have the origin story. We've seen Batman's origin so many times. Like, we just keep seeing the same origin story with Batman, so we see these origin stories, and it's going to be interesting seeing the sequels for a lot of these movies because we don't have to deal with the origin anymore. And when it comes to that argument that the Marvel movies are the same because of that, yeah, that's valid. But any other argument for that, I don't think really works because that's just the hero's journey and just the hero's doing something. It is, you start out the movie with some threat, you start out the movie with the hero. Like Iron Man, he starts out high where he's just genius, billionaire inventor, and then bad things happen, and then he makes Iron Man. That's him developing as Iron Man. And then threat happens, and he takes on the threat, and that's the end of the movie. Captain America is the other way, where he starts out low. He's just this humble, really virtuous guy. No, maybe not virtuous, but just, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Maybe you can say virtuous. He starts out good guy, and he climbs up and becomes this great hero type, and then he just deals with stuff, and then there's a threat, they're dealing with the threat, and all these things, and then there's the big fight, and then that's the end there. That is really, honestly, that is really cutting off a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, it really doesn't hold up. Like, you can say Ant-Man. Ant-Man is a heist movie. All the Marvel movies are all different, and this is another one. But it is also an origin story at the same time. And you can run parallels here and there, but it's not enough to say they're all the same. So I don't really get that argument besides, unless you want to argue overarching, that all hero movies are the same. Not counting just the story of the Marvel heroes and the DC heroes, but just any hero journey story, they're all pretty samey at a point if you really want to stretch it. And Doctor Strange does the hero's journey. Doctor Strange starts out with, there's a threat at the start of the movie, you get to learn about this threat a little bit. There's a really cool action sequence, a really, really cool just special effects going on. Just takes Inception to the next level with the stuff they do with just the graphics going on. It's so cool. It's pretty damn cool. Oh my god, this has to win all the awards for special effects. Doctor Strange just broke the bank on that one. It was really good. One thing I want to say is, if you're a big fan of the Doctor Strange comics, I think there's going to be a lot of things in here that there's going to be Easter eggs that'd be great for you, and there's going to be things that they change that you might not be happy about, and then we'll go over that as we go through this review. But starts out with the threat, and then we get to see Doctor Strange. We get to see him as a surgeon, and honestly, Cumberbatch plays his character really well, but he's not a redeemable kind of character. He's a genius who does care about saving lives. Here's the thing. He's a genius surgeon. He cares about saving lives, and that's what makes him a good guy, but he is such an awful person to everyone else. He's worse than Dr. House. Doctor Strange is worse than Dr. House in how he treats other people, in my opinion. And it makes him not an easy, redeemable kind of person as far as personality goes. But as the movie goes on, when he has his falls from grace, he's a total ass. He is not very redeemable, but as he climbs back up and becomes the hero type, he of course becomes more likable, and that's part of his character arc itself. The character arc for Doctor Strange, I think I should go over that in spoiler talk, just because it kind of is important to the story. So I'll say that in the spoiler talk at the end of this video. But Doctor Strange's character arc is pretty good. There's like 2 or 3 character arcs going on in the story. He has one, Mordo has one, we'll talk about in spoiler as well. And then you can say the villain's character arc, but not really. The villain, once again, this is something that is always complained about with Marvel, is the villains aren't that great. And they aren't. Like, my favorite villain has got to be Avenger 2, Ultron. A lot of people didn't like Ultron. They thought he was weak. I felt he was my favorite one because he had actual character. I thought he was very interesting. I thought his character was great. He had just this thing about him that probably comes from Spiner. But I really like that character. Now, of course, there's also Loki. Loki's a great villain as well. But besides that, all the villains have been okay. And this one will not break the bank. He's just an okay villain as well. But he has some fun in it. He's a little bit fun to watch fight Doctor Strange and the things he does. He's menacing. He at least has this menacing look about him. He fights pretty well. Him and Doctor Strange have an interesting thing going back and forth with each other. But in the end, he's just some villain. And of course, as a villain, he's going to get beat. But he's not a memorable villain. It's hard to get a memorable villain. I think what happens is the main character and their cast of characters with them usually take up so much of what's going on that the villains just aren't as great as they could be, I guess. But it's also, I don't know, I can't wait to see a really good villain, I guess. I'm fine with that because the movie's still pretty strong, even with the villain being okay, because the villain's not terrible. The villain is enough for the movie to be great. Like, that's what happens. But Doctor Strange, just talking about anything that's in the commercials, when Doctor Strange does his training to become the Doctor Strange and everything, when he's dealing with the Ancient One, and just all the things that happen. The scene between him and the Ancient One when he first meets her is amazing. It's just, the special effects will blow you away. It really will. Just alone on that, it's pretty damn good. The action's pretty good. The acting's good. It's really just, things happen, but if you take the time to think about it, any movie's not going to be so great. And taking the time to think about it, you don't really know how long Doctor Strange has been at it. Like, this is something, you don't really have an indication how much time has gone by. Doctor Strange goes from not knowing anything about magic to being really good at it very quickly. And they show some progression in time because days go by and you see night and day going on. But you have no idea if he's been at this for a year or 2 years or what. And they don't have anyone really talk about time for you to really know how long he's been training at it. Because Doctor Strange is just this amazing guy with photographic memory. He became the greatest surgeon in the world, and now he's trying to become the greatest sorcerer, because he's trying to become the greatest surgeon again. Because in the story, something happens that he just isn't a great surgeon anymore, and he's trying to get that back. And they actually go through a lot of stuff on that, and he just really lashes out at people, which makes him a hard character to really like. This is probably the least likable character before they become the hero, is gotta be Doctor Strange, because he's so into himself. But his arc does go better as it goes through. And just the fight scenes are great. I'm just trying to think of what can I really say without giving away too much, in that it's a good movie. If you want to, like, none of the movies are unnecessary, I feel. All the movies are important to see, except maybe Ant-Man. I think that's the only movie that isn't important for the overarching story, but Ant-Man does come into, of course, Civil War, so there's that as well. But he's not, like Ant-Man, you could say you could skip the movie if you figured you didn't need something for the Infinity War, he's one of them. But it's Doctor Strange. He's got all these powers and everything. We learn about the multiverse through this movie. We learn about many different universes and realities through this movie, and you knew that was going to happen because Doctor Strange is that guy. And so just a lot goes through that, and it's pretty cool. Really quick rundown. The night nurse is in this. Now you might be thinking, well, there's a night nurse in Netflix. Well, there were 3 night nurses. There was only 4 comics, and there were 3 night nurses. One of them's in this movie, and you don't know she's a night nurse. This is only just from looking it up. One of them is in this, so that's one of the like Easter egg kind of things. Another one that I'll give away right now is there's a moment where Doctor Strange is reviewing. Well, he learns about a 35-year-old man who got hurt with an experimental power suit. That's Rhodey, and he decides not to work on that guy. So that was the only link to the Avengers besides someone mentioning Wong mentioning the Avengers. Wong mentions the Avengers are here to stop the physical threats, and the sorcerers are here to stop the not physical threats, things from other universes and such. And when Doctor Strange deals with that, it's very interesting. Mordo, if you know the comics, he's different from the comics a little bit, but the comics will inform you about Mordo. Really, like, going on with that. Wong is very different from the comics, and I like this departure. Wong was just this manservant who served tea to Doctor Strange, and he's like a crappier Alfred. Like, not, because I've seen a little bit of Wong, and I'm not a big fan of him. Wong in the movies is not that. He's more of the more serious character, and he actually has the ability to fight, and they tried to not make him a stereotype, which the actor himself appreciated. What's funny is the actor himself was last name Wong as well, so Wong playing Wong was kind of funny to me, because they're like, well, what happened, which is interesting with this, is because they made the Tibetan a Celtic, they're like, okay, we gotta have an Asian somewhere, so they brought Wong in, because they originally weren't even gonna have Wong in the movie, and then they brought back in Wong, and they wrote him to not be stereotypical, because they felt like his character in the comics just wasn't that great a character. And so I like that. That was pretty great right there. And I don't want to give anything away. I'm trying not to give anything away, but it was a really good movie. You should check it out. There are some great scenes. There's some pretty good laughs in there. There are moments that will blow you away. There are definitely moments that will blow you away. You should see this movie for sure. If you're a Marvel person, obviously you're going to see it. If you're not a Marvel person, if you're just a comics person, you should see it as well. It will probably get you to want to read some of his comics. I want to read some of his comics. They actually gave you, when I went to Regal Cinema, they gave me codes to get like the first copy of Doctor Strange so I can read it online digitally. Well, online is digital, obviously, but so I can read it digitally, so I can check it out, so I can now read Doctor Strange. I'm assuming the new Doctor Strange, after the whole Secret War, or Secret Invasion, whatever it is, like, they redid the universe, like, the last 1 or 2 years ago, so since they did that, the new Doctor Strange is probably more in line with the movie Doctor Strange, and that probably changed a lot of things, so that also helps. So if you like the movie Doctor Strange, I would assume the comics can be more like that one. And just, yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good movie. I recommend the hell out of it. If you're just looking for an action movie, it'll be good as well. There's only actually 3 fights. 3, maybe 4 fights in the whole movie. It's a lot of character exploration, but some amazing graphics going through it, and there's a lot of training phase as well. Because it's him becoming he is Doctor Strange, but it's him becoming the sorcerer Doctor Strange. And it's just a good movie. I enjoyed it. As someone who does not know Doctor Strange that well, I really enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend the movie. So check it out. So, spoiler talk really quick here. Another thing is, if you do the comments after spoiler talk, just put spoiler before your comment, just so people know. And that is the official just warning for spoiler. And spoiler talking is really, this is for anyone who's already seen the movie, because I just want to say, yeah, can you believe that kind of stuff? Am I right in my opinion that I feel that Doctor Strange just isn't that great a person, pre-car accident? Or not even pre-meeting the Ancient One? Like, he's just a dick. Like, he's not a very nice person. He knows his stuff. He loves shoving in people's face how great he is. And then you just see him do the most selfish thing, which, if you might not understand this if you're younger than that, that's him driving super freaking fast. He's looking at his phone while driving, and he crashes. No one knows what happened to the other person that he crashed into, but he crashes, gets horribly effed up, and he's trying to, of course, rehab his hands. And you understand his frustration, his pain and frustration. He's lashing out at other people. But it's also so damn hurtful, him lashing out, that you don't really like the character, I felt. But as the movie goes on, he's kind of likable because he's making these little jokes here and there. and he's becoming the hero type. So of course we like hero types, and so he's becoming more hero type. He's still very selfish, but eventually finally overcomes that selfishness, and that's character arc about him that I didn't want to talk about pre-spoiler talk, because his character arc is kind of important, and I really liked how they went. The whole thing is he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist type, that's for sure. That's what he is. And he's just a dick. He's just really smart, really great, but he's a dick. And then all this stuff happens to him, and he does all this stuff, but the end goal still is fixing his hands. It was always that he's not here to be some hero. He's here to fix his damn hands. And the talk between him and the Ancient One before she dies is there's like, it's not about you. It's not about you, man. It's about something else. You could go back and be selfish if you want, or you can be this bigger thing. And he decides to be the bigger thing, which is great. So, like, I liked his character arc, whereas, like, don't be so damn selfish. Just don't be so damn selfish. Be something more. And he's like, he starts to accept that, which I thought was pretty good. The thing, him and Christine Palmer, like, the semi-love interest kind of thing going on there, I'm glad it didn't go to a kiss. I'm glad it was just a kiss on the cheek. Like, it's him with his old world and the new world kind of clashing when he's with her a little bit. I'm glad it wasn't just some kiss. I'm glad it was just kissing cheeks. Like, well, shit's going on with him, and that boat is kind of sailed, or maybe she'll be around to be something later on. But I'm glad it just wasn't happening, because it felt like they were potentially kind of shoehorning in some love interest. But what they need is they need someone to ground him into his old life a little bit, and that's what she served as, and that was pretty fine. Wong was great. Seeing Wong dead, then Wong come back was pretty awesome. It was like, Wong's like, he was dead. He's like, yeah, keep reversing time. I'm glad I'm not dead anymore, which was great at the end. Caseless, like, the fight with him was pretty cool. Like, he's a menacing looking guy. I like how villainous he looks. He just, he's not the most interesting character. When he gets captured, that was pretty cool. I like that a lot. The cape was amazing. Oh, okay. I want to know this in the comments. When did you realize it was the Infinity Stone? That's the question. When did you realize the Infinity Stone was that artifact? Because the second, like, I realized it 3 minutes before they actually tell you it's the Infinity Stone. Like, the first time you see the Infinity Stone is when he's, messing with the time of the apple, right? He does that. And then next time you see the Infinity Stone is at the end of the movie, when he uses it to freak out the dark side guy. And not dark side, but the guy, the Dark World, or whatever his universe is called, the Dark Universe or something? Forget his name. But when he uses to mess with him, which is my favorite scene, I feel, is that whole thing, because it was clever. Instead of just having this power struggle, which we've seen in so many movies, it's this struggle of just him outsmarting his opponent. Like, or just, it's still power struggle of just patience and nerve, and just like, are you willing to just do this for eternity? Because I am, kind of thing. And it's a power struggle in that way, and in the end, Doctor Strange wins by being clever, which I like. He was clever using a very powerful artifact, because, like, after he used it, and then Mordo gets really mad about what they did, I come to the realization, wait a second, Doctor Strange did take on this universe really powerful creature using time, and I came to the realization, wait, one of the Infinity Stones is the Time Infinity Stone. And then, like, right after I come to that realization, like 2 minutes later, Wong mentions, yeah, that's an Infinity Stone. Oh, that is an Infinity Stone. Snap, I was right, okay. Like, right before they revealed it, I realized it was the Infinity Stone. So my question is, did anyone figure it out at the Apple scene, or did it come to you during the movie, right before it got revealed, or did you not realize until it got revealed? That is the question I got when it comes to that Infinity Stone. So there's only one Infinity Stone left. Just that ending was pretty good. I really liked that ending. The Ancient One was great. All the special effects was great. Mordo. Here's the thing. I did not know, because I haven't read the comics. Mordo's a villain. So Mordo, if you saw the post-credits, Mordo coming up as a villain at the end of that thing, that's who he is. He's actually normally a nemesis of Doctor Strange. So it's interesting seeing him become that. And he's doing I don't know if trope's the right word, but this is a villain type that it's, they're a zealot. They believe all wholeheartedly in what's going on, and then something happens that shakes their belief, and then they become the bad guy. A lesser example of that would be Loki. Loki's all about, like, he's totally for Asgard. Then he finds out he's actually these things that they tell the kids to be scared of at night, kind of thing, like the boogeyman. He finds out he's a boogeyman, and he goes off the rails. The difference, instead of that, it's just Mordo's like, look, this is the way to do things. We are the heroes. This is great. And then he's like, the Ancient One, she did a bad thing, and because of that, we're paying for it. And now Doctor Strange has done something that he does not agree with. He does not believe is okay, which was messing with basically the physical world again, and just messing with the laws of the laws of physics or the laws of reality or something. I can't remember what it is right now. Messing with the laws of things, and so he's like, "That's not cool," and he leaves. And I thought my initial reaction was, it's going to be that he's going to become a wild card in the next movie, and then it's going to be up to Doctor Strange to bring him in. I did not know that he's actually a villain in the comics, so his fall to becoming a villain who wants to get rid of the sorcerers, that's interesting as well, but I did not think that was the way it was going to go until I saw that, and the fact he's just a nemesis in the comics, well, there you go. Everyone who reads the comics knows he's going to be a villain eventually. It's like, can't think of an example right now, but just a thing. Like, I guess one would be Winter Soldier, Captain America 2. Like, people knew Bucky was Winter Soldier if they've read the comics, because they knew that already. So it was not a real big reveal to them. While for some people who did not know the comics, it was a big reveal. Like, that's something that knowing the comics does. Like, some people know the big reveal, some people don't. It's very interesting. And that's really everything as far as spoiler talks go. Like, it's really just that ending was amazing. Just Groundhog's Daying it was pretty cool. And the Infinity Stone. That's really the two major spoiler things to talk about. Besides just Doctor Strange as a character, what do you think about that? And I guess the love interest kind of thing. Like, I really like the scene where I love the scene where she saves his life. That scene was great, where she's just trying to save his life, and he astral projects out, and he freaks her out, and then they're fighting while she's trying to keep him alive, and they're affecting her. That was great. I really liked how it's her trying to keep calm while bullshit's happening around her. Of course, I wasn't happy about the defibrillator thing, because that's not how defibrillators work. It's never how they work. But it was still a cool scene. It's just cool Doctor Strange taking advantage of that. I was really hoping if they're going to have doctors, maybe they'll be accurate, but they weren't. But what are you going to do? It's a movie. It's a comic book movie, so what are you going to do? But it's good. Good movie. I really enjoyed it. If you want to think about it deeper and nitpick at it, my biggest nitpick is just how quickly he becomes Doctor Strange. We don't know how much time has gone by. I'm willing to give the benefit of doubt that maybe it's been a year, maybe months at least, hopefully. I'm willing to give the benefit of doubt that it's been a while. It's been a long enough time that a guy who's a genius at a surgery and has a photographic memory would be able to pick up magic as well, because why not? A guy that's able to be laser focused like that, I'm willing to believe that a year or so he'd be really good at it. Not enough to be the greatest ever, but enough to be good and clever at it, because he's at least able to do some things, but he's not like he's the most amazing person. He has relics that help him out. And he's also got the Ancient One helping him out and stuff like that. It's like he's not really showing off superpowers, really. This is the thing. He's using things that everyone else knows how to do. Like he's doing the gate, like he's doing the teleport that everyone knows how to do. He's showing an aptitude of understanding how things work. He's projecting a weapon that isn't really shown as a weapon that you use like a power kind of thing. He's just using a weapon. He's fighting with it. He's got a cape that's helping him out, that's telling him kind of what to do, which helps out as well. And that's where I'm kind of okay with it, because he's got some competency, and he's not doing anything that requires high competence. It's not like he's casting these amazing spells while he's fighting. He's just doing mostly just rudimentary stuff that he should know at this point, and I think that's fine. He didn't do a power struggle. He outsmarted, not really outsmarted, but he just had a clever idea, and he took on his opponent with it. That's really good there. And yeah, I think he's believable enough, but I feel like if they said it was only like a month, it would be unbelievable. I think if they gave him a couple months or a year or 2 years, believe the hell out of that, for sure, because just how smart they say he is. But there you go, that right there is the spoiler talk for Doctor Strange. Really enjoyed it. So review first half, spoiler talk second half there. I don't know if we're going to separate this, but so there you go, that right there is a talk for Doctor Strange. Let me know what you think of the movie after you see it. If you haven't seen it yet, check that out, because I really like this movie. I want to see what flaws you feel about it, or what amazed you, what wowed you. That's really what I want to hear. So That's it. Thanks for coming by. I had fun talking. Hope you had fun watching and listening. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.